Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? Wonderful, wonderful. To take a step in the past, slavery was abolished in 1865, but black Americans did not have equality. The KKK attacked and lynched black people. Black people were not allowed to use white public facilities to include schools, parks, and this was called segregation. The 14th Amendment granted newly freed slaves equal citizenship to white people. And in 1896, facilities still for black and white people had to be separate but equal. In reality, black people's facilities were always worse than that of white people. After many attempts to improve the status of black people before the 1950s, the NAACP was set up in 1909. One of its missions was to fund lawyers for black people who were treated very badly by the courts. But it wasn't until the 50s and the 60s that the civil rights movement led by Dr. King Jr. challenged white supremacy. In 1945, the United Nations was founded by Eleanor Roosevelt. In 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was signed. 1954, Brown versus Board of Education. Segregation could be equal, and Reverend Brown's child went to a white school. 55, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, inspiring the Montgomery bus boycott. In 57, 9 black students with military protection went to a white school in Little Rock, Arkansas. 1963, 250,000 people marched on Lincoln Memorial and heard the I Have a Dream speech by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A change was coming and the fire was already set. The torch had been lit and blood had already been shed. 1964, the Civil Rights Act outlawed segregation in schools, public places, and in jobs. 1965, all blacks gained the right to vote. 68, the Fair Housing Act banned discrimination in housing. My mother and father saw and lived through decades of change and evolution for the development of black people. And through all the change and growth, it was still hard to adapt and focus on change. After all the marching, all the fighting to get ahead, we still today are fighting for the same equality. Slavery was abolished, but why are we still dealing with modern day slavery? People becoming victimized through human trafficking, unfair detainment, violations of a basic trial. Florida is ranked 3rd for human trafficking in our country. So how do we progress to the future? Black people are community leaders, CEOs of companies. They're starting their own businesses, generating generational wealth through investments in financial literacy and stretching across the globe with innovative designs and structures. I'm proud to be a black man in my lifetime. I'm proud to be raising a black man in my lifetime. And I'm proud to be a member of the NAACP. I'm proud to be an advocate for human rights and helping mankind. We are in a day and age where equality is not just for black people anymore. It is truly for humanity within itself. Our political structure has become a mockery and has members that lack discipline and values. And if we are not careful, we will find ourselves fighting this fight all over again in the coming years. So I'm asking you, as we as a people, we have to unite together for a stronger fight and continued peaceful fight. Alone, we can make a lot of noise and start a lot of mess. Create mass confusion, and we might gain some momentum. But imagine what we could do if we were united without a circle of boundaries. We come from a heritage where we didn't care about where a person lived or where they were born. We just knew they were black. And that's all we had was the color of our skin. That was our unity. But I see daily we as a people are segregating ourselves and discriminating against ourselves. Not supporting each other for petty reasons that are minuscule and worthless. But we are connecting with people globally through social media, cell phones, airplanes, even had an African American president. We got African Americans throughout the entire political structure in our country from top to bottom. African Americans on school boards. They're across the country helping guide our youth. We fought for education. Now we are giving education. We fought to be employed, and we are hiring people and giving jobs. We fought to eat at the table. Now we're feeding America. We have turned the tide on a global scale from where we stood facing adversity. Nobody can tell us we can't achieve and we can't believe. We are here to stay. And with unity and perseverance, we will continue to change the narrative of our culture in the world's eyes. Drop the mic. Thank you.